Welcome to everybody, buongiorno. If you don't mind, I will not speak in Lithuanian because I'm not able to. I will use my typical Italian English, so you should be patient. So my name is Michele Curto. At the moment I am the president of FLAIR Network. FLAIR is the first European network dedicated to fight against organized crimes. It's made by 50 NGOs, around 50 NGOs from 30 countries. And FLAIR was born a year ago in the European Parliament in Brussels and was founded by an Italian NGO called Libera. What Libera is, because to explain what Libera is a good way to express what FLAIR want to be. I'm coming from Libera too. Maybe some of you remember, I was a kid at the time, in 1992, two famous judges in Italy were killed, Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino. They were bombed, one on the highway, the other one in front of his house. They were two public heroes in my country because they've been people fighting against mafias, people that also try to create relation and networking with civil society, with journalists, with public officers. And that was a concrete sign that mafia want to show up their power and the power that they have on society, which was the result. The result was, of course, that the state tried to oppose to this process. But what was interesting was that in Italy, a huge alliance of civil society was created, was established. In 1994, 1,300 NGOs, from little local groups up to the national trade unions, they create a national alliance. They put each other together, trying to oppose to organized crimes. For what? Because it's simply to say to oppose organized crimes, but doing what? The first request was to obtain a new legislation about confiscation of properties of organized crimes and public and social reuse of that properties. And to do this thing, Libera was collecting around Italy almost 1.5 million of signatures. So it was not a normal law approved by the parliament, but was a public law requested by the peoples. And I know that that's difficult to understand, that even to express for me. But at that time, we were collecting signatures even in the little district of Italy where, even police cannot enter. I don't know if you ever heard about the district of Palermo called Brancaccio, that is a little area where mafia is controlling everything. Or if you heard about Scampia, close to Napoli. In places as this one, for the first time, young guys mainly, but also normal people, they were on the street with tables asking for signatures of people. There was a kind of social reaction. And after that, the law was approved. And after that, we started in Italy these procedures for confiscation and social reuse. What means confiscation, and especially what means social reuse? If you come to Italy right now, and I really invite you because it's a wonderful country, and you go to the supermarket, for example, and I suggest too, because we have some really great products, before to leave, go and buy, for example, pasta. Of course, everybody's doing so. But you can buy a special pasta. It's called Libera Terra, that is meaning free grounds. It's under a trademark. It's with Barilla and all the rest. But the difference is that this pasta was made on properties that were confiscated from mafia, year by year, day by day, by people that before were unemployed, and after that they get a job doing that. If you want to buy olive oil, you will buy olive oil from Libera Terra that was confiscated from mafia. And then if you want to buy wine, but also if you want to sleep in Sicily, in Rome, in Milan, you can find youth hostel that before been villas of mafia guys. Or for example, you can find shelter for prostitutes, where people that right now are trying to escape from human trafficking, they are protected in houses that before were used for human trafficking. That's an important sign of commitment in our country. But after that, Libera a few years ago realized that mafia is not anymore an Italian problem. In the large conception of organized crimes, because I really don't want to fall down in the discussion about, definition of phenomenon. I leave that to the experts. But in the large conception of organized crimes, is becoming absolutely a transnational phenomenon. That's why we are here today, and that's why we created, after a process, the FLAIR network. We used to say, we try to express that organized crimes are a priority and an emergency that we should understand as fast as possible. It's exactly like that, because I will try to express this thing. 90s can be considered the years of course, globalization, a process that each of us touch, especially my generation, your generation, is a generation that live in globalization. Or Erasmus is an opportunity that we get from globalization. Here you have internet, and you can write to your friends in Singapore in few seconds. You can even speak with them free of charge. And globalization was, of course, an explosion of international trade, an explosion of financial exchange. But it was a great opportunity also for organized crimes. They found a great space using, the difference between different legislation, using the border that historically been a protection for countries, and that right now instead are an opportunity for organized crimes. Borders are making the price. When you import heroin from Afghanistan to Europe, you count the border, and each border is making the price. If you want, a girl from Serbia, the border are making the price, and so on and so on and so on. And World Bank counted that up to 1995 to 2005, the illegal market, the illegal economy, increased from 4% of the world GDP up to 10%. We don't have sure data about that. I'm not sure if this data is correct, but I don't care. What is sure, of course, is that the process is this one. That year by year they are increasing their opportunity of making money, and that's year by year they are getting more money. The usual mistake is to consider that illegal economy is the last part of the economy. It's the part of the economy that arrives at last. Like, you take a glass of water and you put some oil on. It's just flowing. It's not like that. Illegal economy is the more dynamic part. It's the economy that arrives at first, that win the competition. It's the economy that is more able to connect offer and demands in fast way. And you don't have to consider, please, that illegal economy is another economy that stay far away. If you stop each ship that are crossing at the moment the Mediterranean Sea, you will find on the ship, on the meantime, legal products and goods and illegal products and goods. They are traveling together. Generic speaking, of course. And also you have to consider the incredible capacity of illegal economy to orientate also the legal economy worldwide. Just to give you a few examples, just the traffic of cocaine is estimated by UNODC in 500 billion of euro for a year. 500 billion euro of a year. Is it the 22 world economy after the Netherlands one? Just Italian 'Ndrangheta, that at the moment is the more strong mafia organization, his GDP is estimated in 44 billion euro. That is the GDP of Estonia plus the GDP of Slovenia. Two little European countries. And of course, please don't consider that they have just an economic power. They have also political power. They have also a military power, but they have also a cultural power. An extremely powerful cultural power. And for example, they are a real economic organization, and they are not just connecting offer and demands, they are also able to make marketing of their products. We are not doing enough investigation about this process, but that's very important. I think we should ask to ourselves how organized crime was able in the last 15 years to make around cocaine. What's happened? 15 years ago, cocaine was the drug of few elected persons. Today, cocaine is the public drug in a lot of European countries. In my countries, 12% of young people use at least once in their life cocaine. How they did so? 3 weeks ago in the shipyard of Costanza, they stopped a ship. And on the ship, they found a 1.5 tons of cocaine. They thought it was not a huge, confiscation, but they expected it was for the market.